want to take you back to 1997, 20 years ago. I was a young mum, married to Grant, with 3 young girls, aged 2, 5 and 7. I was fit, active, healthy, I thought. I'd run 45 minutes a day. I cooked my own food, preserves. I made my own muesli. I was really busy. I was busy with the children, supporting my husband with his shift work. I was busy in the community, in my local church. I was just starting to use coffee to keep myself awake at night, so I could stay awake for meetings that I held in my own home. One night I discovered I had a tumour. Well, discovered I had a lump, and I have a medical background, so I got out my medical books and thought, that's about where your thyroid gland is. It's on a Friday night. So Monday morning I went off to my doctor, and he took me fairly seriously, and I was in the hospital within a couple of days having some biopsies. And I learnt there that I probably had one of the 3 nasty rare thyroid cancers. Good chance I was going to have my thyroid gland removed, but they wouldn't do that for a month until they learnt which of the 3 nasties it was. So I went and rubbed shoulders with other cancer survivors, and I applied the common strategies that had worked for them to my own life. And I got into real food, raw food, whole foods. I eliminated meat and dairy products. But the most important thing I did is I started on barley juice. And I learnt that this barley juice was not only the most nutritious and healing food known to man, but it was incredibly high in an antioxidant called SOD. You can look that up yourself, superoxide dismutase. And that's an anti-cancer antioxidant, very powerful. And that's what these other survivors had used. So I got stuck into this stuff. As fast as I could get my head around the change, I changed my whole lifestyle, and I put in the barley juice. I started juicing my own carrots and lots of raw salads. And I had friends and families who would say, what are you doing? You're supposed to be dying and you're running circles around us. So back then I had to order a 6-pack of barley juice. And as fast as I could order one in, I'd had 5 friends or relatives wanted to take one off me. And so I was ordering this stuff wholesale from the AIM company. And within a month, they're sending me a check. And this was great because it subsidized the product I was using. And it was like saying, thank you for sharing the health message. And back then we didn't have email. And I was photocopying information. I was answering the phone, taking phone messages, mailing off information to people as fast as I could pedal. And I realized, I started getting a juicer machine for myself, for friends. I got a ceramic stone mill. I was milling my own grain. Someone else wanted. Before I knew, I was in business, and I had never planned to be. So I had to give myself a business name. I prayed about it, and Health Direct came to me. The domain name was there, so I took healthdirect.ws, a little bit like wholesale. And so I set myself up in business to manage all this. After a little while, I discovered that you can buy carrot juice already made for you without the outlay of a juicing machine, without the mess, and having to store another machine in your kitchen. And it was cheaper. In fact, it was half the price of buying just the regular supermarket carrots. And so I persuaded people not to buy a juicing machine. Spend your dollar well. And so, I don't know, I just had a huge effect on so many people. Hundreds into the thousands of people ended up coming and asking for help and wanting to do whatever I was doing. And it's interesting, 20 years later now, those things that I did are things that are becoming sort of more mainstream information. Anyway, I come a bit forward there. The results came back with a rare, nasty thyroid cancer with a poor prognosis. And I had the tumour removed surgically. The interesting thing is I healed incredibly quickly. And in fact, 6 weeks post-op, the surgeon was surprised because my post-op cancer check was back to normal. And I saw him at 3 months, and they started calling me the carrot lady because my hands were stained from handling carrots and sweet potato and all the carotene type foods. Saw them again at a year. and my cancer check was still fine. And the specialist said to me, whatever you're doing, keep it up, it's working. And then as I saw him at 2 years, he'd say, I'm totally convinced there's a correlation between what you have done and where you are now. And I saw him at 3 years and 4 years. Well, by 10 years, he said, you don't need us and we don't need you. I was ruining the statistics. And so I discharged myself from the system. And he said, if you ever need me, I'm here. But since then, I go on now, and I have an AIM business that I'm at director level, and I have a number of people underneath me that are trying to do what I'm doing very successfully, but just on a smaller scale. And they're sharing the health message with others, they're getting remunerated, and they are keeping out of the doctor's rooms. They're staying healthy, they've regained their health again, and they're sharing the message with others. And it's just great. It's very, very satisfying to be in the industry and to be living life well.